I'm going to be completely honest with you about what happened between me and my husband. Not the sugar-coated version I tell acquaintances. Not the half-truth I spin from my parents. The real version. The one I still struggle to fully accept, because even now, I'm piecing together how something that felt unshakable went completely off the rails. I'm Marissa. I'm 29. 6 months ago, I would have bet my life that my marriage to Daniel was rock solid. That he was my person, my forever. Now I'm sitting in a half-empty house, wondering how I managed to blow up the best thing that ever happened to me. And why, in everyone else's eyes, I'm the one who ruined it. The beginning. When he couldn't get enough of me when Daniel and I first got together, I honestly thought I'd won the love lottery. He was attentive in ways I didn't even know I wanted. He'd tell me every single day how gorgeous I was, how lucky he felt to have me, how he still couldn't believe I'd chosen him. And the physical affection? It was relentless. In the best way. He'd smack my butt in the kitchen just to make me squeal. He'd wrap me in a hug out of nowhere, holding me close like he never wanted to let go. He'd kiss my neck when I was doing dishes, just because he couldn't resist. Even the lightest, most casual touches seemed to spark something in him. I could see it in his eyes, in the way his breath would hitch. It made me feel powerful, desired, like I was the center of his world. I bragged about it constantly. My friends would groan and roll their eyes. My best friend Megan once said, "Must be nice to have a man who still acts like he's dating you after all these years," and I'd smile, a little smug, knowing her husband barely looked up from his phone when she walked into the room. When it stopped feeling cute but life got messy. Work turned brutal. Endless deadlines, impossible expectations. My dad started having health issues. I was stretched so thin I felt like I was fraying at the edges. That's when Daniel's constant touching stopped feeling flattering and started feeling heavy. Like one more demand on my already depleted energy. Every hug seemed to turn into him getting aroused. Every kiss deepened into something sexual. It was like he literally couldn't touch me without it heading in that direction. We'd be watching TV, and I'd feel him shift, his body reacting just from having me close. I'd give him a quick goodbye kiss in the morning, and suddenly he'd be deepening it, pressing in, before I'd even grabbed my keys. I started thinking of my own body as some kind of button he couldn't stop pressing. And here's the thing. Daniel never pushed me into anything. He'd get turned on, sure, but he'd manage it himself and never made it my problem. Still, it got to where I didn't feel like I could be casually affectionate without it being a trigger for him. Couldn't he just hold me without needing more? My friends' teasing started to sting, too. They'd make cracks about Mr. Perfect and how I must be keeping him on a short leash. They had no idea how exhausting it felt to have every touch carry this undercurrent. Sometimes I just wanted comfort. Not heat. Building resentment in silence. Looking back now, I can see it clearly. I was letting resentment build over something that, at another time in my life, would have made me feel loved. But with everything else on my plate, it felt suffocating. I started pulling back. Shorter hugs. No lingering kisses. Turning away on the couch. I thought I was being subtle, that Daniel would pick up on my mood and adjust. I never actually told him what I needed. I just expected him to know. And every time he didn't, my frustration deepened. It was like loading a spring tighter and tighter without realizing it was eventually going to snap. The Tuesday night that broke us that Tuesday at work was hell. The kind where every little thing goes wrong and by the end, your whole body is buzzing with stress. I just wanted to come home, put on something brainless, and shut my brain off. Daniel greeted me with his usual warmth. He made dinner. He didn't push me to talk, just let me vent a little while we ate. Afterward, I was on the couch, still wound tight, when he came over and started massaging my shoulders. At first, it felt incredible. His thumbs pressing into the nuts, the tension in my neck melting just a little. And then he leaned down, kissed the side of my neck, his hands sliding down my arms. Within 2 minutes, I felt him pressed against the back of the couch. And yes, he was aroused. Again. That was it. The spring snapped. I spun around, my voice sharp. "You always sexualize me, and it's disgusting." Daniel stepped back like I'd slapped him. His face went blank. The silence between us felt like it could crack. Finally, he said quietly, "I can't help that I'm attracted to my wife. I'm a young, healthy man, Marissa. This is normal, but I wasn't hearing it. Just stop. It's irritating. I can't even get a normal hug from you without you making it about sex." I saw something in his eyes I'd never seen before. Not just hurt, but something deeper. I'm not making it about sex. I can't control how my body reacts to you. I've never pressured you or made it your problem, and he was right. But I didn't care in that moment. Well, figure it out, I shot back. It's gross, and I'm tired of it. Daniel held my gaze for a long moment, something shifting in his face. Okay, he said finally. I understand, then he walked away. I sat there, feeling both vindicated and hollow. The Cold War that night, he didn't reach for me in bed. The next morning, he was dressed before I even woke up. No kiss. No hug. Just a polite, have a good day. I told myself it would blow over. But it didn't. The change was instant and total. Daniel stopped touching me unless I initiated. And even then, it was brief, almost clinical. No random hugs. No playful grabs in the kitchen. No pulling me into him on the couch. At first, I felt relieved. But within days, it started feeling wrong. Empty. Like we were acting in a play about a happy couple instead of actually being one. When I asked why, he answered calmly, "You said my physical responses were disgusting. I don't want to risk making you uncomfortable again." I tried to argue. He just shrugged. "It happens naturally when I'm close to you. I can't control it. So I'm avoiding situations where it might happen." He called it respecting my boundaries. To me, it felt like punishment. The ache of not being wanted, and then I missed it. I missed the way he used to look at me like I was the most beautiful woman alive. I missed feeling wanted. Now, he looked at me like he looked at anyone else. Polite, distant. I started initiating. Little touches, flirtation, dressing up. He'd respond just enough not to outright reject me, but then pull back. 3 months in, I felt invisible. By month 4, I was desperate. The work trip in month 5, Daniel had to travel for work. Normally, we'd be counting down the days until we saw each other again. This time, our calls were short, polite, hollow. When he came home, something in him had shifted. He seemed calmer, more certain. Like he'd made a decision. 2 nights later, over dinner, he put down his fork and said, "I don't think we're sexually compatible anymore. Maybe we should separate." I choked. What? Where is this coming from? He told me about the woman at the hotel bar. How she'd flirted with him, and how it made him realize he hadn't felt wanted in months. "It's not about her," he said. "It's about needing to be with someone who appreciates my desire instead of calling it gross." The end. Within weeks, he was moving out. Within months, he was dating a 26-year-old teacher he'd met in therapy. I saw them once at a cafe. The way he looked at her, it was how he used to look at me. Only this time, she looked back at him like she felt the same way. That's when it hit me, I had taken something rare. A man who couldn't keep his hands off me after years together. And I'd destroyed it because, sometimes, it wasn't convenient. And now, he's hers. And I'm here. Alone. Still telling myself he should have fought harder, which is probably why I still don't fully get it. Some lessons you only learn when it's too late.